everyone, today I'm going to be using the Canon R6 and the Canon RF 28-70mm f2 to do a photo shoot with, and I'll give you guys my review and first impressions of this camera. I also want to say thank you so much to Canon Australia for lending me this camera and lens so I can make a video about it.
Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. I love the green.
I have used the RF 28-70 f2 before, so that's why I decided to use this lens for the review. I'll leave my first video with it linked down below if you want to watch, but from my last video, my thoughts are still the same. The 28-70 is an absolutely amazing lens and I love it so much. It's essentially a prime lens within a zoom. The quality is insane and it's super sharp as well.
I was gonna say, even if you rest your arms like in between your lap. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's pretty. I have to show you, it's like a little succulent garden. It's so pretty.
Yeah, that is so stunning.
I love it. Oh, that's cool.
In this first set of photos in the shade, I purposely kept my ISO low and my shutter speed as fast as possible at 1/200 to expose the images correctly to see how the ibis is with photos. I felt like most of the photos were really sharp and only a couple had some motion blur, usually when myself or the model would move, which is to be expected at that shutter speed.
So pretty.
Did we get it rounded up?
Yeah. Yeah. I like it when you tilt your head like that way, like the other way. Yeah, like that, because then the earring kind of like hangs down. Yeah, beautiful.
The color rendition of the straight out of the camera photos are beautiful as well. They've got really nice skin tones and really nice colors overall.
Oh, I like that.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And then do you want to try one if you put both your feet on the ground and have both your knees up?
Yeah.
Like you can put them, oh yeah, like that's cool. Yeah, because I was going to suggest like your elbows, you can kind of like put your hands there and stuff. Yeah, that's pretty.
Now that we've seen some photos, let's get to my only drawback, which is, by the way, completely personal preference, and that's to do with the megapixel count of the sensor in the R6. The sweet spot for me personally is between 24 to 30 megapixels. The Canon R6 is just a bit short at 20 megapixels. My last daily Canon body was the 5D Mark IV at 30 megapixels, and my current daily is the Sony a7 III at 24 megapixels. When I consider a camera body to be used as my main workhorse for portraits and weddings, there are a few features it needs to have, and falling between 24 to 30 megapixels is one of them.
Yeah, I feel like the jumper like has like this whole relaxed vibe about it. It looks really cool.
For example, as much as I loved using the Sony a7R Mark IV and the Canon R5, I don't use them for work as it's not within that megapixel range.
Yeah, I like that big movement with your arms.
For quick reference of image size, you can see in this video the 100% view of the photos does not completely fill in the 4K video resolution, and you can see black bars on either side of the photos. As a portrait photographer, the megapixel count isn't a deal breaker, as you can take your time with composing photos and try to negate the need to crop your images and make them even smaller. But as a wedding photographer who crops, prints large albums and large prints, this can become an issue, so it's just something I wanted to point out in case printing and file sizes are important to your workflow as a photographer.
I know. Okay, I'm gonna just move the screen out so I can shoot from like a lower angle. Actually, maybe could you stand a little bit more that way? Yeah, just there. So I'm gonna get like the corner bit of the house.
smaller megapixel count contributes to better low light performance, but as we saw in my R5 review, which I'll also leave linked if you want to watch, at 45 megapixels, the R5 files are really clean in very low light and high ISOs and hold their own against the R6 in low light. So I kind of wish the R6 had a slightly larger megapixel count just to have that little bit of wiggle room to be able to crop and print comfortably.
Beautiful. And then I just saw a little patch of sunlight there. Sticking. Yeah, come this way a little. Oh, actually, I think it was back. I saw your shadow for like a second. Go back that way a little bit. Oh yeah, and then step towards the light. Yeah, you got like a little bit of glow there in your face. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh, can you see yourself? Yeah. Isn't that cool?
That looks so cool.
When we move into the sunnier spot, you can see just how beautiful all the details and textures are in the photos from the R6. If you don't mind the megapixel count, this is a great camera for capturing portraits. The photos we took here are actually some of my favorites from the day. By the way, all these photos are edited with my disposable film Lightroom preset pack, which I'll leave a link for in the description if you guys want to see some more examples of it.
Oh, I like that little bit over the shoulder there, looked really nice. So I'm getting like an extreme kind of close up here. That looks really nice. And a bit closer. All right, and then the next one, I want to try and get a little bit of that building in the shot. So I think if you stand like right in the middle of the two cars, like on the curb bit. Yeah, so for this one, like a lot of kind of swinging around and yeah, big arm movements, perfect. Yeah. And you don't have to look at me the whole time for these ones either.
In this next spot where I was shooting from the ground, I wanted to try out two things. First, the IAF has been working for me flawlessly during this entire shoot, so I wanted to get a weird angle and have Tashiana sway her arms around to see how it would go under a little more pressure. I also wanted to see how the dynamic range is on the R6 as we were standing in the shade, but the building in the background of my shot was in full sun.
Love it. Oh, the camera's like totally keeping up with you and everything, even with your arms like flying in front of your face.
We have an IAF test coming up in a minute, so I'll talk about the dynamic range first. Here's a quick screen recording of what it looks like straight out of the camera and when I bring the highlights down. For me, I felt like it was able to recover a fair amount of detail in the blown out highlights, and it was more than enough to make the image look more balanced once it was edited in Lightroom. And here's another little example of pulling up the shadows too from one of the shots at the beginning of the day and how much you can recover there.
So I have the Atomos Ninja V plugged into the R6 so we can test out the IAF. I have it set to servo mode, so it's going to track Tasha's eye throughout the shot. So I'm going to hit record.
I think I say it at some point on location, but the IAF really didn't skip a beat at all. It's a really solid autofocus system that makes it super easy to shoot portraits with. I had AF set to servo, continuous AF on, and IAF on the entire time, and just tried to let the camera do most of the work while shooting. So I'm really happy with how the focus worked the entire photo shoot.
So now we'll do that again. So we were at 28mm for that, and now I'm going to zoom into 70.
Last but not least, Dan took the camera to do some video tests, and here are our results.
Love it, you just get like straight in there.
I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you want to see more photo shoots on the Canon R6 or R5, and let me know what you guys think of the R6 in the comments as well. And I'll leave a playlist of all my Canon videos at the end here, but I will see you guys all next time. Bye!